Hello and welcome to Kent Tonight live on KMTV. I'm Megan Shaw and here are your top stories on Wednesday the 11th of February. Bad Cluck. Hen Hotel in Sittingbourne facing continued challenges due to avian flu restrictions.
So we call this, in the poultry world, we call it flockdown instead of lockdown. So yeah, it is literally like COVID.
Go all in. A new government initiative encourages more people to read for fun, while a school in Gillingham makes reading a part of their lifestyle.
We're constantly finding ways to engage people in our libraries and in the 15 libraries that we have that are in every town and every village across Medway.
And trek through the trail. Jeskins Community Woodland uses a popular children's book to teach about the outdoors.
So every single visitor contributes a small part to helping us deliver these bigger projects.
And our top story tonight, an animal care business near Sittingbourne could be under threat after months of avian flu restrictions. Hen Weekend cares for poultry when their owners are away, and the flu risk means that hen hotelier Catriona is unable to run her successful business as normal. Chloe Brewster got her wellies on and headed to Upchurch to find out more.
Now, a hen party with 8 chicks is usually a good turnout, but for Catriona, her parties are usually much more popular. Based in Upchurch, Hen Weekend Chicken Boarding offers short-term or long-term accommodation for other people's hens. But recently, despite the disco ball being ready to go, business has been slow.
I got a text message from DEFRA notifying me that I was immediately put in a 3-kilometre controlled zone, which meant that any movement of birds was strictly prohibited.
It came after an outbreak of avian flu near Newington in Sittingbourne late last year, an event which caused Catriona's business to grind to a near-total halt.
It was rather upsetting from a business point of view, but as a bird lover myself, I knew that these restrictions would only be put in place if it was a necessary measure. There's no birds coming in and out. It seems just very slow, very almost depressing. I'm not seeing the amount of people that I usually would. Even the social sort of aspect of things for me, it's been really hard.
These hens behind me here have been here at Hen Weekend for over a year. Now, they can't return back to their owner due to the risk of bird flu.
We call this, in the poultry world, we call it flockdown instead of lockdown. So yeah, it is literally like COVID, yeah.
The APHA says avian influenza prevention zones are a mandatory biosecurity measure, saying that any restrictions focus on preventing any future outbreaks.
You must make sure that your chicken run or your housing is fully covered. You can use plastic tarpaulins, and that's just to keep it weatherproof and keep wild birds out from sort of flying in and helping themselves to water and food. Also, foot dips with a DEFRA approved disinfectant. You must use them when going in and out of your housing. It's really hard, but I'm hoping that we can recover from this, because it is, I mean, this flock just shows you that there is people out there that need housing for their birds. There is a lack of poultry care, so I'm sure we'll come back bigger than ever.
At this time, there's still not a date for the exclusion rules to be lifted, so for now, Catriona is a sitting duck. Chloe Brewster for KMTV in Upchurch.
Excellent reporting there. But next, last Wednesday, the University of Kent and the University of Greenwich confirmed their merger will be in effect from the 1st of August 2026. The decision to merge is one that's been watched closely by both staff and students. But what would this mean for student life and studies? And our reporter, Etalie Reynolds, has been finding out.
On the 10th of September 2025, the University of Kent announced they were exploring a collaboration with the University of Greenwich. And on the 4th of February, both universities said they had formally signed the legal agreements to create the UK's first ever super university. It will become a legal entity from the 1st of August 2026. But what does this mean for those studying? I went down to the Medway campus, which is home to both universities, to see how people believe it may affect student life.
I feel excited because I hope I get to explore the campus in Kent as well. It's a really beautiful campus in Canterbury. And yeah, just having a bigger, larger community altogether.
Yeah, I feel very positive because it's like we are having two advantages of having both the two universities running our programs, having also access to all of the facilities.
I think it's for good actually. Like if two universities have come together and pondered upon something for so long, it should be to the good of both universities. So it would serve us better in the long run, I think, yeah.
I think I've been aware, though, that for some staff members, perhaps they're a little bit nervous, perhaps wondering what it means for them. And the students have been told it's not going to affect them really at this point. So hopefully it should just give them more access to more things.
In a statement from the University of Kent, they said, for students, nothing changes other than being part of a larger multi-university group from the 1st of August 2026. With future access to a wider range of facilities and greater employability opportunities across the group being explored. There is no direct impact on courses, modules, teaching or campus locations. Etalie Reynolds for KMTV.
Next, at today's PMQs, Tonbridge Conservative MP Tom Tugendhat raised concerns over delays in pension payments for civil servants. Tugendhat asserted that this scandal needs to be addressed and resolved as some ambassadors are retiring in disgrace, with larger payoffs while civil servants are facing financial struggles. Let's take a look.
Mr. Speaker, would the Prime Minister share with me the concern that while some ambassadors retiring in disgrace get tens of thousands of pounds in payoff, many other civil servants are failing to get the retirement that they are due and are expected to turn to their old departments for bridging loans? This is clearly a scandal. Would he put all of his effort behind making sure that those who have served with integrity are treated with the dignity that they deserve?
Yes, we are taking steps, and he's right, we should take further steps, and I think that will be agreed across the House.
And on the topic, according to new research, workers in the South East are amongst the least positive in the UK when it comes to working after 70. According to a survey by the Standard Life Centre for the Future of Retirement, it was found that just 51% of people felt they could do their current job once they hit 70. And we went down to Rochester to find out what people thought.
Yeah, I think it's quite a good thing. Some people don't agree with it, but I think it all depends what your health's like, isn't it? You know, but in my case, I could have carried on to perhaps 70 any case. But
well, it does worry me quite considerably because my children are in their 40s, and what have they got to look for in their retirement age unless they've got a super duper private pension, which most of them won't have.
And previous to this, quite relatively recently, I worked in a school, and small children are difficult to cope with at the best of times. So yeah, I think it would be a problem to do this at 70. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. I just feel like the government are not really thinking about people my age. I feel like they're worrying about the people that are sort of near to retirement and then younger people, but people that are sort of, I'm 47, so you know it's not that far away. But as I said, I feel like as I'm getting older, the age of retirement is getting further away, and it's just I'm never going to get there.
And I also spoke to Patrick Thompson, the head of research analysis and policy. There's this new research about how workers in the south of England seem among the least optimistic about working longer. Can you maybe give us a bit of insight why this might be?
Yes, sure. Very happy to. I mean, just by way of background, we're a think tank at the Standard Life Centre for the Future of Retirement. We're thinking all the time about how people work, save and retire. And we're really, really interested in how people are doing that differently around the country. So in the southeast of England, there's some good news and bad news. So overall, the southeast of England is ranked overall in terms of Britain's regions, in terms of how prepared people feel for their longer working lives. It's actually ranked the lowest in terms of satisfaction with things like pay, and second lowest for satisfaction with opportunities for progression at work. We know those things are really important for people in the workplace. And it also has one of the biggest gaps between when people think they'll be able to retire. So in the southeast of England, it's just over 67, and when they actually want to retire. So people want to retire at about age 62. So there's some gaps there to fill, and some things that could be better. Some good news in terms of the southeast of England. It's ranked second highest overall for employment rates of people aged 50 to 64. So 3 out of 4 people in that age group are in the southeast of England are in work.
What could this mean for local economies and households across the southeast?
Yeah, really good question. I mean, we look a lot at the fact that the UK population is getting older. Our local economies are getting older as well. That also means our workforce is getting older. We already have about 1 in 3 workers over the age of 50, and more people are working into their 60s and past their state pension age. We think it's a big, a big driver for the economy. We do need these workers in the economy. They add huge amount of skills and experience to the workforce, but very often people feel pushed out of work earlier than they might like to. So that might be because of a health condition. It might be because of a caring responsibility. Very often we do see ageism at play as well at work. We know about 1 in 3 people over the age of 50 have experienced some form of ageism in the workplace, and that might be something that's pushing people out of work. We also think it's really important that people have choice and control about how they work and when they retire. It's a great thing if people are able to retire earlier and they've got the finances in place to do that. That's great. But it's more about supporting other people to save more, and if they want and need to work for longer as well.
Well, it's time for a quick break, but stay put, as we've got plenty more to come. Neela Mohammed has been looking into reading figures across Medway, as well as we'll bring you the weather, all that and more. See you then. Hello and welcome back to Kent Tonight, live here on KMTV. Now, another water outage has hit Kent, but this time by Independent Water Network in Kings Hill. Many households lost their water last night at around 8 p.m, and a number of them are still without water today. Amy Ayers, one of the residents without a supply, said that residents have still not been given a timeline or when their water will be back on, nor have they been notified of a bottled water situation. On its website, the Independent Water Network blamed the outage on an electrical supply issue that caused a pumping station to close down. This year, there have been several water outages across Kent, which you can see on the screen now, supplied by South East Water, where more than 30,000 properties were affected. Next, this year is the National Year of Reading, an initiative organised by the Department of Education to encourage more people to read for pleasure. But in Medway, the latest reading figures show that 73% of pupils reached the expected standard in reading at the end of Key Stage 2, 2 percentage points below the national average. And our reporter, Neela Mohammed, visited Napier Primary School in Gillingham to see what they've been doing to bridge the gap.
Reading is more than just a classroom skill. It's considered a building block for learning, confidence and opportunity. But here in Medway, the latest figures show that the literacy rates of students between the ages of 7 and 11 are below the national average. Written evidence submitted by Medway Council says that this is a lasting effect from COVID, including lost learning times and high levels of students not attending school across the country. And as the government prepares for the National Year of Reading, Paul Cowell emphasises just how important libraries are in encouraging young people to read.
We're in Gillingham Library today and we've got a dance company who will be doing a free dance performance based on several books for children between the ages of 3 and 6 years old. So we're constantly finding ways to engage people in our libraries and in the 15 libraries that we have that are in every town and every village across Medway, to engage in all sorts of different ways.
But while these programmes aim to raise the rating standards in Medway, one school in Gillingham is already outperforming the national average. And no, it's not Hogwarts.
I'm currently in the library of Napier Primary School, a school whose literacy rates are above the national average and improving year on year. They encourage pupils to read both in and out of lessons through a series of initiatives. But what exactly are the types of things that they're doing to encourage pupils to read for pleasure?
We have a really good kind of reading diet. So a lot of the curriculum is based around that reading. So as soon as the children come in, we're reading straight away. We do in the mornings what we call a reading party. They read a book together, discuss the book, quiz on the book in a comprehension style quiz. So it's kind of promoting that reading for pleasure because they're picking the books that they are reading collaboratively. They're discussing the books collaboratively. It's not the teacher facilitating it, it's completely the children.
Zoe also emphasised just how important it is for young people to feel represented in the literature that they read.
The community in our school is incredibly diverse, so if the children have access to books which are diverse that they can relate to, it makes the literature more enjoyable.
With the National Year of Reading now in place, Medway faces both a challenge and an opportunity. How do they ensure more children leave primary school not just able to read, but wanting to? Neela Mohammed for KMTV in Gillingham.
Neela Mohammed there. Now, in Ashford, a subway that's flooded so often it's got its own Facebook page has flooded again. And Kent Online reporter Louis Walker went down to the underpass to see it for himself.
We're here at the underpass next to the Asda store in Ashford, which has become a well-known spot in the area for all the wrong reasons. The footpath, which connects the designer outlet and Asda store with Newtown, is often left impassable after a heavy downpour. We've come down here today and again the stream has burst its banks, flooding the footpath and cycle lane with more than a foot of water flowing steadily over the route. Residents have even taken to forming their own Facebook group called Asda Underpass Updates to tell others whether or not the route is clear or if today's a day to bring your wellies.
Now, the jury has been sent out in a murder trial involving 3 children accused of killing a man on the Isle of Sheppey. 49-year-old Alexander Cashford died after being injured by stones and a glass bottle in Laysdown around 7 p.m. on August the 10th. The defendants are 3 under-18s who met Cashford at a playtime arcade where they exchanged details and continued to communicate over messages. They met again at a Laysdown beach where the attack that led to Cashford's death happened. This murder trial is now in its 5th week, with the jury unable to reach a verdict. And now it's time to take a look at the weather. We'll see rain across the county tonight, some fairly mild temperatures reaching 9 degrees. Into tomorrow morning, cloudy skies, temperatures of 7 and 8, a light breeze to the east. By the afternoon, temperatures climbing to 9 or 10 degrees, some light rain expected across the north of the county. And for your outlook, looking forward to the weekend. Well, it's rainy, so maybe not. On Friday, we've got temperatures of 5, coming up to 8 on the Sunday, and rain throughout. Now, remember, you can stay updated with all our latest headlines by visiting kmtv.co.uk or by keeping up with our social medias on Facebook, Instagram and TikTok. There, you'll find all our reports, including our most recent ones, like this one here.
Listening to the stories of the security guards at the Pentagon Shopping Centre in Chatham, you'd think they were secret superheroes. The team have been nominated for an award for their excellent safeguarding and security work. In the last 12 months alone, the team has handled incidents ranging from theft and teen takeovers to suicide prevention and drug abuse. In one incident, team member Kerry spoke about when she came across a group of people unconscious who had overdosed on drugs.
We talk to all the homeless and we say we can't say we'll definitely get them in properties, but we have a chat with them. A few of them that we've managed to get into temporary accommodation. There's been a long-standing gentleman out there that's been homeless for 19 years. We managed to get him into a property, but there is others that we've got reunited back with their families, or other people that have gone into rehab.
Chatham High Street is an area marked by poverty and higher than average levels of crime and antisocial behaviour. But the team here say that being from the area themselves helps them to relate to the community that much more.
It is tough to obviously see, because either way, they're still someone's family. We try and obviously help them as much as possible, try and get them into like rehab or anything, just to obviously help them out, get them refreshed and then start new.
It's a smaller community down here and you see each other every day. Where in the old job you could go to one job and not see anyone for another long time. Here, well, I say it's family, very family orientated. We all know each other, we all live local, and we all want the same outcome at the end of the day, and that's just to help people.
These everyday heroes say they don't seek recognition, just continue what they do every day for years to come. Chloe Brewster for KMTV in Chatham.
Chloe Brewster there. Next up, Prophetess Dr. Christy Idahosa received a Divisional Commander's Commendation Award from the Kent Police this month. This award was given to Dr. Christy due to her outstanding leadership and unwavering commitment to strengthening community ties in Maidstone. And here she is now to tell us more about the work that led to this award. So, Dr. Christy, it's great to have you on.
Thank you so
How
much.
did it feel to win that award?
Oh, I feel ecstatic. I'm so happy and very, very pleased to see that especially the police recognize people who actually do things genuinely and hardworking. Yeah, it's been a great collaboration with the police, and I'm so also proud of them too.
I bet. And tell me a bit about that work you do with Triumph of Grace, you know, to celebrate Maidstone and that wider community.
Yeah, it's a great community. Maidstone community is a very, very beautiful place, and the people are lovely. We have so many activities that we do. We've got a mental health awareness group, which is even happening tomorrow. So a lot of people are booking it.
Yeah.
Just to help people, and because the world is full of so many things right now, and we do alcohol detox awareness forum as well. We do domestic violence support, We've been able to help several families dealing with alcohol abuse and helping them to make sure that the children are safe and they don't go to homes, while we still make sure we take responsibility to make sure that the children, especially the young ones, are cared for in the right way. We have youth, which is our great passion. The youth in Maisto, very beautiful people, young ones. I'm just there to be there for them. Yesterday we have a youth group. We usually have it on Tuesday from 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock. It's supposed to be 6 o'clock, but sometimes we don't finish until 8. They are so happy to be with us.
Absolutely.
Tennis, table tennis, any kinds of games that you can think of. And also I have some computer where I help them with their homework, just to make sure that everyone is inclusive and they are all taken to be part of what is going on where in Maisto. Maisto is developing, and it's a very lovely place to be. So we have so many things, even for the veterans, elderly, tea, coffee, having time together, talk together, so that no one should be, alone. Especially in this time that we are in, nobody should be lonely. We are all
Absolutely, and that's all the time we've got for now. But we'll catch up with you after the break.
Yes,
Thank you,
Thank
and
you.
we'll catch you after the break.
Thank you.
Hello and welcome to Kent Tonight live on KMTV. I'm Megan Shaw and here are your top stories on Wednesday the 11th of February. Bad Cluck, Hen Hotel in Sittingbourne facing continued challenges due to avian flu restrictions.
So we call this, in the poultry world, we call it flockdown instead of lockdown. So yeah, it is literally like COVID.
Go all in. A new government initiative encourages more people to read for fun, while a school in Gillingham makes reading a part of their lifestyle.
We're constantly finding ways to engage people in our libraries and in the 15 libraries that we have that are in every town and every village across Medway.
And trek through the trail. Jeskins Community Woodland uses a popular children's book to teach about the outdoors.
So every single visitor contributes a small part to helping us deliver these bigger projects.
But first, we're still here with Dr. Christy Idahosa, who obviously you won your award with Triumph of Grace. And Triumph of Grace in Maidstone, you've only been about a year, maybe almost two. So how does it feel to have won that so soon in Triumph of Grace's career, I suppose? There must be a lot in the future.
Yes, I'm somebody that has a lot of resilience to do things and may go get it. Sometimes I take on, especially because of the kind of person I am. I'm a prophet, and God speaks to me, so He tells me what's next, and I just go about it. And I know the next phase for this ministry is to be able to impart the young ones, to see them really taking on everything that they are given to in this life, especially to make sure that we get a lot of population out of the streets and stop all this drug abuse and anything that will make them not to be able to fulfill their destinies or to make them who they should be. We want to make sure that this is where we're going to focus on. And we want to see younger people becoming prime ministers in this country, especially the population in Maidstone. So we want to make sure, especially like yesterday while we were with the youth, they didn't really want to go. And most of them are so happy. And I have a lot of sons now and daughters calling me mom. So yes, just like I raised up my children, I've got 4 children as well, they are boys. And everyone is happy to make sure that we see the young people here in Maidstone, that they are, if you are not in academic, you must have a skill. You must do something. We want to see the place, go higher and higher, where we will be the one taking control of the things, the young ones, taking control of the things for the future.
And what is the kind of things you do with young people?
Oh yes, we work with them. We take their homeworks and help them with the homework. Some of them, they say, oh, I don't know what I'm supposed to be. So I start to counsel them, start to talk about them, about their interest, about their passion, and you discover that they have something that they actually know and they like to do. So we start to impart them in that area and bring it in a way that it's like a play. You do a play role, and you see them doing that play role very well. As if you want to become a doctor, for example, you can. This is the way, this is the pathway, this is what you must do. Have some kind of a pattern with which you do things. Set up a program like your diary. Put something on it every day. What would you like to do? What do you want to aspire to do? So you see them having interest now. And sometimes we just do the play. We'll say, okay, give us this name, put this word together. We want to do it within 2 seconds. Who is going to do it? Then when they do it, I give them a reward. So it makes them feel part of the whole system. And
absolutely.
No longer feeling like they can't do anything. So yeah,
Thank you.
I'm proud of them.
Thank you, Dr. Christie, for joining us there to speak about your award and also the great work you do in Maidstone.
Yes.
And back to our top story tonight, with an animal care business near Sittingbourne could be under threat after months of avian flu restrictions, as Chloe Brewster's been finding out.
Now, a hen party with 8 chicks is usually a good turnout, but for Catriona, her parties are usually much more popular. Based in Upchurch, Hen Weekend Chicken Boarding offers short-term or long-term accommodation for other people's hens. But recently, despite the disco ball being ready to go, business has been slow.
I got a text message from DEFRA notifying me that I was immediately put in a 3-kilometre controlled zone, which meant that any movement of birds was strictly prohibited.
It came after an outbreak of avian flu near Newington in Sittingbourne late last year, an event which caused Catriona business to grind to a near total halt.
It was rather upsetting from a business point of view, but as a bird lover myself, I knew that these restrictions would only be put in place if it was a necessary measure. There's no birds coming in and out. It seems just very slow, very almost depressing. I'm not seeing the amount of people that I usually would. Even the social sort of aspect of things for me, it's been really hard.
These hens behind me here have been here at Hen Weekend for over a year. Now they can't return back to their owner due to the risk of bird flu.
We call this, in the poultry world, we call it flock down instead of lockdown. So yeah, it is literally like COVID, yeah.
The APHA says avian influenza prevention zones are a mandatory biosecurity measure, saying that any restrictions focus on preventing any future outbreaks.
You must make sure that your chicken run or your housing is fully covered. You can use plastic tarpaulins, and that's just to keep it weatherproof and keep wild birds out from sort of flying in and helping themselves to water and food. Also, foot dips with a DEFRA approved disinfectant. You must use them when going in and out of your housing. It's really hard, but I'm hoping that we can recover from this, because it is, I mean, this flock just shows you that there is people out there that need housing for their birds. There is a lack of poultry care, so I'm sure we'll come back bigger than ever.
At this time, there's still not a date for the exclusion rules to be lifted, so for now, Catriona is a sitting duck. Chloe Brewster for KMTV in Upchurch.
Next up, a 65-year-old man has been imprisoned for 28 years in Margate after being found guilty of child sex offences. Duncan Bales was sentenced on the 6th of February in relation to a series of crimes committed against children starting in the 1980s. The Kent Police launched a specialist investigation in June 2019 after a man came forward to report Bales for several occasions of abuse on a minor. Bales was found guilty of all 19 charges on the 24th of October 2024 following a trial at Canterbury Crown Court. He was later found guilty of a further 17 charges on the 16th of January 2026. You can read more on Kent Online. Now, you might have heard that this week is National Apprenticeship Week, a chance to celebrate apprenticeships and show how they open doors for people to build skills and careers without the traditional university route. So I'm now joined by our Level 5 apprentice, Maisie Walker, to hear more about what inspired her to take the unconventional path of an apprenticeship straight after her A-levels instead of going to university. So Maisie, great to speak to you. Tell us, first of all, you could have gone to university. Why specifically did you want to do an apprenticeship?
Well, I mean, I wanted to be an apprentice because, well, you know, you sit next to me in the office. I cannot keep still for the life of me. You know, being in classrooms, you know, kind of growing up throughout my educational journey, I just wasn't capable of it. I couldn't sit still. I couldn't concentrate. I required, in order to actually kind of retain information, to be doing it hands-on and getting that experience within that environment, which is how I knew quite early on that university wasn't the way to go. So when this apprenticeship came about, I jumped at it, and you know, obviously money doesn't hurt either.
And of course, you've shown us exactly what a day in your life might look like, haven't you?
Yeah, exactly.
I spoke to Maisie Walker earlier for all the details. Our reporter Maisie Walker joins me in the studio.
Earlier in the day, I spoke to Maisie Walker to find out more about this.
I came to KMTV for work experience last July and loved it so much that I basically refused to leave. I kept on coming back whenever I could, spending my free periods in the newsroom, volunteering my time and getting involved wherever I was needed. And somehow that persistence turned into a job. Welcome to a day in my life as a Level 5 journalist apprentice. After our morning meeting, where we run through the agenda and plan for the day, I jot down my notes before heading out to cover a story. The piece was about a new scheme designed to improve shop fronts for independent businesses across Kent. I spoke to local business owners as well as a Medway councillor to find out how they expect the scheme to impact the area. Then it was time to film my piece to camera and head back to the newsroom, although it's never quite as easy as you expect, at least not for me.
Councillors are hoping. Councillors are hoping this grant will help boost. Let me get my words right. Wait.
But what I love most about this job is the people you meet. You meet individuals from all walks of life, business owners, campaigners, families, councillors, each with their own perspective and experience. And then there are your peers, the other reporters, camera operators and producers who are navigating the same deadlines, the same early mornings and the same pressure. There's something reassuring about knowing you're not the only one on this path, that other people understand exactly what it feels like. It makes the tough days lighter and the good days even better. Maisie Walker for KMTV.
Maisie Walker giving us some behind the scenes there. Now, it's time for a quick break, but coming up, we've got plenty more as we're going to be joined by Margate-based artist Imogen Tinkler to discuss how she captures and celebrates the beauty of everyday Margate through photography and her new zine. We'll also take a look at the weather, for the coming days. And Kristen Hawthorne has been in the forest. We'll see you then. Hello and welcome back to Kent Tonight, live here on KMTV. Now, a children's hospice in Sittingbourne and Roseminis Cat Sanctuary near Canterbury have been left thousands by Star Wars actor Kenneth Colley. In his recently published will, Colley left $5,000 to the hospice and $2,000 to the Cat Sanctuary. The chairman of trustees from Rhodes Minis said the donation will be put to good use, helping them to care for up to 150 cats. Demelza Hospice has thanked Kenneth for the donation and all the help over the years. The actor previously lived in Herne Bay and he passed away in June 2025. Next, a new interactive trail based on the children's book Room on the Broom is into its first month of opening at Jeskins Community Woodland in Kent. The event marks 25 years since a popular story by Julie Donaldson and Axel Scheffler, was first published. So until November, families can follow a themed route through the forest with activity stations designed to encourage outdoor learning and engagement with nature, as Christine Hawthorne's been finding out.
Over the fields and the forests they flew, as nature and nostalgia arrive in Cobham. The Room in the Broom activity trail has begun at Jeskins Community Woodland and will continue with different themes as the year continues.
Throughout the activity trail, you have to find things like the witch's hat and wand, which we've already found, but there's also interactive boards. But these projects, they bring money back into Forestry England and into conservation. This is a frog.
So the funding from the trail goes into projects that we're delivering at Jeskins. So we've currently got a few projects going on, one being the reshaping, regrading of the 3 ponds that we have on site, and this is working with Natural England as well for funding, and then obviously joint with Forestry England for funding to support that project. And that will be being delivered between February and March, and that will be to encourage the great crested newt back in onto site. And then we also have the grazing project as well, so that every single visitor contributes a small part to helping us deliver these bigger projects.
In a world where entertainment is becoming more digital and infrastructure continues to grow, focus in the natural world can be a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, it is good. I mean, for us as well, it's good. It's another part of, you know, something to educate them on as well. And with cattle and things being around, it's nice because it brings these things to life. And it's one thing being out in Kent, you get to see more of this. We're originally from London. I mean, there's a good social aspect as well because there's no media or things around to distract you. So it sort of like forces you to engage with others, which kids it comes pretty natural to. So it's nice.
No, I think, to be honest with you, they all do a really good job. Yeah, I think they look after it really well, and whenever I come down here, it's always really well kept, and yeah, that's why I come down here. Yeah, I think it's definitely not a place you'd want to start building on.
Forestry England say that one of their goals for 2026 is to make visitors more diverse. They say that one way they've been able to do this is by making the trail accessible.
Families, could be older couples, trying to get more diverse people. If we've got people with accessibility issues that want to come to site, the trail is set up that we've got hard standing paths, so it is accessible for all, and it just encourages more different groups to be able to come and enjoy it.
But of course, there is room on the broom for dogs as well. Kristen Hawthorne for KMTV, Cobham.
And now let's fly away and look at the weather. We'll see rain across the county tonight, some fairly mild temperatures around 9 degrees. Into tomorrow morning, cloudy skies, temperatures of around 7 and 8 degrees, a light breeze there to the east. But by the afternoon, temperatures climbing 9 or 10 degrees, light rain expected across the entirety of Kent. And for your outlook towards the weekend, we're rainy on Friday, 5 degrees. Sun peeking through on Saturday as the rain stops, and rain on Sunday again with 8 degrees. Now, how often do you stop and appreciate the small moments in everyday life? Well, a Margate-based artist has fully embraced extraordinary and ordinary through photography. With the release of her latest zine coming up this month, Imogen Tinkler joins me now to speak more about it.
Hello.
So, Imogen, it's great to have you. First of all, tell us about your zine. What's it about?
It's about It's a love letter to Margate. I absolutely adore Margate, and it's got so many beautiful things in there. You've got the winter gardens that are just reopening, and the lushness in there of the red carpets and the sunshine rooms at Dreamland. There's just so much beauty, and there's also a lot of grit, so I just love it.
Absolutely. For anyone not familiar, what is a zine?
A zine, so I always pronounce it wrong. I say zine sometimes and get in trouble, but it's short for magazine. And they were really popular like in the punk area, but also in the 20s. And it's a way for artists to be able to share what's real, so people can feel it in a it comes off the screen. It's so nice to have something that's not just digital, and I think we're seeing a resurgence in cassette tapes, which always makes me laugh. You know,
yeah, and vinyl and CD and things like that.
Yeah. And these are just a lovely way, and it's a nice touch point, so it's an easy way to share your work and get people involved so they feel part of it. It's really nice.
And you really did get people involved, didn't you, with this scene? Because people can get their name to be in it?
So we've got people to order in advance, and we put people's names in. I just think it's so nice that you're all part of it. We're a community, and people complain sometimes about the online community, but actually, when you take that offline, you can create something really special. And
absolutely. And we can see some pictures here on the screen there. Are these part of the zine, or are these other
These are my
works?
Whitstable zine that I did, and these are my Lost Children series. So looking at childhood and what it looks like now. And I think a lot of people focus on there's too much technology, but actually when you take it away, you just see them at play, and it's so lovely. Yeah, and this was on the Whitstable Whistler. I love it. It was at the Fiesta on the beach, which was to raise money for the Whitstable Carnival.
Oh, is this zine for Margate to raise money?
So this was for the Whitstable zine, and it was to raise money for the Whitstable Carnival. They have a fiesta and other various beasts as well on the beach.
I see, and as an artist, I would say your main medium seems to be photography. How was it that, you came to be a photographer?
I'm very bad at drawing. No, but I've learned now that actually you don't have to be exact, and it's art. I think it comes from within inside you. I've always loved photography, and we moved to Pakistan when I was very young, and I couldn't express the change, so I'd take a lot of pictures to show it, and then my daughter died, and I went back to doing an evening course in photography, and it just kind of poured out of me, and now I'm doing my postgrad in it, and I just can't do anything else, and I do it full time now. I absolutely love it. I was just seeing her on the beach with the sheep working on a farm. So I just love documenting those things that we see in everyday life. We use our phones so much, but we often kind of hold them up in front of our face. We're not always noticing where everything is and learning to read the light and everything that's around us.
Because it can be quite technical, can't it, photography? It's not just, picking up the camera and magical things happen. It must be, years and years of holding that craft there.
It's doing it every single day and learning about it, learning where the light is, the technical side of it, what happens if you do it. There's the golden triangle, what happens if you do the shutter speed. People like to talk about the technical a lot. I like the meaning of photography around it, but you're always learning. And it's that nice community that you learn with other people. And I went all the way to Rome, and I was with Steve McCurry out there, who did the Afghan Girl, and just learning from with people around the world. Everyone does it so differently, but in the same way, you do it the same. But it's also quite an individual craft that you do, because you're all looking. No one wants the same photo. You're all trying to get your own.
Of course, you've definitely got a very distinct style there. So for anyone at home who's maybe has seen some of your work, flicking through that zine, and they're thinking, I wish I could do that, what kind of advice would you have?
Just to look for stand still, look around, look at the light, notice where it falls, take your time and see what the background is. That's one of my biggest things, to look for the background and see what walks into it. Almost pretend that's your theatre, or like the sofa here, and you're seeing what walks in front, and just enjoy it. And it doesn't have to be right, because I think sometimes we think that everything has to be perfect, and it doesn't.
Sometimes imperfection is like the brilliance of art forms, I suppose.
It's the best things. You get those movements. Often I think innovation's important. So often the things that go wrong are some of the best photos. And sometimes you don't notice. Like when I took my boat I didn't realise till I got home I'd got that exact moment. It was a few weeks later I went back and I went, oh yeah. And you get that feeling inside that bubbles up. It's so lovely.
Absolutely. And we've got some images you should be able to see in a moment on the screen there. Tell us about these ones.
This was I did a fashion shoot with my daughter, Xanthi, and we wanted to work collaboratively. And I love the fact she's got like a bridesmaid's dress on, and things that we'd made, and my mum's jacket, and this is my other daughter. She was taking
Oh, wow.
she was taking the things to the bin. She was her face is just really strong. But I love working. This is my daughter as well. That we went as part of the Lost Children. We were on the farm volunteering at Y Community Farm, which is an amazing place down in Kent. And this TV was just there, and we just stopped to take the picture. But it's looking at those moments. But she loves art, and to get to collaborate with her and to pull ideas. But that one with the pink, she just lay down on the floor. We'd taken loads, and I was like, oh, that's the shot. But I'd been looking at some fashion designers and thinking about what happens when you take away the perfection of fashion, and how does that look? Yeah.
And it seems that Kent forms quite a strong backdrop to a lot of your work. We've got Margate coming up this month. You spoke about Whitstable there. Is the landscape of Kent inspiring to you as well?
Yeah, definitely. I think the people of Kent, we have such a mix down here, and the coast. I think Kent is just such a beautiful place, and there's so much difference in coast when you look at Thanet, when it's going for Thanet for Culture 2029. You've got Broadstairs, the folk festival, one of the biggest in the world, which is just incredible. All of these artists that have moved down there. There's just so much, and the richness that you see in Margate, some of that faded glamour, and where people are trying to protect things and bring things back. And there's the oysters in Whitstable. There's just so much, and I want to explore Rochester more. And I